Well, hello, friends, and welcome to this end of summer vlog. I'm so glad you're here. I thought I would jump right into this vlog and share a little bit about what I've been up to and working on, mostly in my sketchbook this summer. A sketchbook is such a fantastic way to document what you see, play around with techniques, explore new ideas. And this summer, I've really been feeling compelled to work in my sketchbook or sketchbooks, I should say. I actually have three sketchbooks that I work in. This one here that I'm working on is a traveling sketchbook with my friends, Alyssa and Ricky. We have a creative collaboration, and we have two sketchbooks between the three of us that travel between Ottawa, Prince Edward Island, and New Brunswick. And so here I was working on a little sketch from the market, the Ottawa Byward Market, and that's the National Art Gallery in the background. So this summer's just been such a lovely time. I've been spending lots of time with my family. We've traveled a little bit, we've camped a little bit. Um, and after a kind of busy year of teaching, I really just felt the need to get back to playing around and exploring my sketchbook. So that's really where I've been focusing a lot of my energy this summer. Sometimes I like to go out. Here I am with my friend Roxy. We went on a sketchbook date to the Ottawa River House. We had a swim too. And so this piece was from an observational drawing that I started on site and took home to finish up later. And then other times I'm just inspired by what I'm seeing right in front of me. Sunflowers are my very favorite flower ever. And so, of course, I wanted to document that in my sketchbook too. Here, Roxy and I went out for another sketchbook date to a sweet little cafe that was full of antiques. So I started this one on site, that's the finished piece, and I did do the rest at home. So often I'll do a little bit of both observational drawing and finishing up at home. When we went camping, I was really inspired by the colors and the landscape at Bonnechere Provincial Park. And so this piece, I would say, is a little bit of an abstract landscape, something I love to do. Another abstract landscape inspired by my travels to Prince Edward Island. If you've ever been there, you'll recognize this rusty brown that I'm using, very iconic of the cliffs. And here's the final piece there of my abstract landscape. Again, I'm often inspired by what I see around me, and I tend to work a little bit in an abstract way when I'm looking at landscape. This piece here was done up at my cottage on Rumsey Lake in Nova Scotia, and I was just really feeling inspired by the beautiful water that is on the lake. And so the lake has all these gorgeous water lilies in bloom, and they just smell divine. And I wanted to capture that essence. I wanted to sort of really get that feeling of what I was seeing and how I was feeling at the time. And so a sketchbook, again, is just such a beautiful way to keep track of what you're seeing, what you're feeling. You can explore. Sometimes I do more rough drawings, and sometimes I do sort of more finished pieces. Here's a little glimpse of a painting. This is a finished painting I did this summer. For reference, it likely took me about 10 to 12 hours to do this painting. It was inspired by my friend Kirsten, who had saved a moth, and she had shared that on her social media, and I just loved the moth. And so I started to look up other images of moths and felt inspired by that. I was also working loosely based on a theme with my creative collaboration. The theme was bubbles. So I actually blew some bubbles on the background. You might see them here up close with a straw and some watercolor. And finally, this is a little inside family joke, but my family loves pancakes, like loves them, and I never seem to make enough. And so I was really inspired to paint some blueberry pancakes, and I thought, hey, we'll never run out of pancakes if I have a painting of a stack of pancakes. Oh man. Maybe that'll go up in my kitchen somewhere. But again, just having fun and playing around and making art for myself. And so some of the adventures we've been up to as a family, we went to Bonnechere Provincial Park for a camping trip with my in-laws, and that was such a blast. And we decided to take a little side trip to the Bonnechere Caves. I had never been. I grew up in this area, or in the Ottawa Valley at least. So we thought it would be kind of fun to take the kids on this tour of the caves before we went camping. And it was actually really cool. I really enjoyed it. Not gonna lie, I totally forgot that we would be in caves where there might be bats. And anybody who knows me knows that I have sort of this long, unrational fear of bats. There were bats, they flew at us, and I'm proud to say that I did not have a panic attack down there. Sorry, it was really fun though. And here we are, just little images of us camping as a family. It was lovely. Now, moving on, there is Maple the doggy on my lap. We drove from Ottawa to PEI. If anybody has done that, it is a long trip. And I had this dog on my lap the whole time because we discovered she's quite anxious. I'm telling you, my legs were numb, but she was quite happy there. So this trip to the East Coast was long overdue. We moved away from the East Coast last summer. It was a bit of a whirlwind trip. It was a transfer for my husband's work. And, we settled into Ottawa. We had a great year, but we knew that we wanted to go back. And so we took the road trip and we did a little bit of camping along the way in Prince Edward Island. Here I am waking up on the beach, quite literally. Our campsite was just steps from the beach, and just it was a really lovely time to be there. Again, just camping in a tent with our family. Ooh, there's my peach French toast, very delicious. We got to see lots of friends. We got to catch up with family. We had a little birthday for my mom. It was just a really lovely time to reconnect with a place that's so special and near and dear to our hearts. So we spent time in PEI, we spent time in Nova Scotia, and I thought I'd leave you here with a few of the images from our time there. Thank you so much for being here today, friends, for this vlog. I'm leaving off with a few images from a hike that we took in Gatineau Park. I hope you're having a fantastic end to your summer. Enjoy these final days. I know I am, and I'll see you on the next vlog.